almost doesn't feel like a premium format statue. Now it would seem like that this statue is a home run, right? First and foremost, what do you think about the white eyes? Welcome everyone from What's on the Table. This is Prof G and you are watching another episode of Graded, the show wherein we're not just going to unbox or review a particular statue, collectible, or figure. We are actually going to give it a grade at the end of each video. So for this episode, we are going to grade the 1/4 scale Sideshow Premium Format statue, Batman Gotham by Gaslight. Now before we begin, I would just like to share when the PO announcement was made for this premium format statue, I wasn't sure if I wanted to get it, as nowadays I'm trying to be a responsible collector and not just buy every Batman statue out there. I had some initial thoughts and issues about this statue regarding its tone and consistency, but after a few months and the idea marinated in my head, I decided to pull the trigger, and to be honest, I am glad I did, as in my opinion, this is surprisingly one of my favorite releases by Sideshow this year. Now, as you can see on your screen, we have this beautiful art box from Sideshow, and if you watched my previous videos and how I like my art box design, this is my ideal look and feel. Now let's give Sideshow a round of applause on this one, because this is a refreshing design and my favorite art box design from them so far. Now, minimalist, no graphics, they didn't show the actual look of the statue on the art box, just the logo and those swirl design border elements that really does give you the Victorian era feel. Now, I gotta say, this design looks premium, and I hope they continue doing it more in the future. Now, as we open this up, I just want to say thank you to Mike of MG Toys and Collectibles for securing me this piece. The details of their address and socials are written on the description below. Priced at $705. Yep, I know Sideshow premium format prices are getting crazier. I got this from his store for only 44,000 pesos, which I think is a generous and fair price. Thanks, Mike. Let's begin. Now, it may seem like an expensive premium format statue, but at the end of this video, let's see if it's something I will complain about. We have two levels of styro here, and on level 1, we have this gorgeous looking base, which surprised me as I actually forgot that I am unboxing a Sideshow statue. You got all of these multiple small attachments of broken wooden planks and multiple small metal rods that are all going to be pegged on the base. You got the body of Batman, and holding it for the first time, I could feel that there are a lot of texture on it. And of course, the head sculpt of Batman. Don't comment on the white eyes yet, let's do that later. Moving on to styro level 2, we have here some sculpted smoke effect attachments that are meant to be pegged in on the base. We have 3 of them actually. You have the semi-flexible grappling hook rope and the cape, which is made out of faux leather. I know what you're thinking, mixed media. Let's dive into this more later on. Now with all the parts, and we got a lot of them, let's start doing the assembly of this Sideshow premium format statue, Batman Gotham by Gaslight. My fellow collectors, this is the 1/4 scale Sideshow premium format statue, Batman Gotham by Gaslight. Now, just to give you a little bit of backstory on the inspiration behind this statue, the title Gotham by Gaslight actually surfaced in the year 1989, and an animated film was made with some alterations in the year 2018. This was considered as the very first DC Elseworld story wherein Batman And Gotham was reimagined in the 19th century Victorian era Gotham City timeline, where Batman had to track down the infamous killer named Jack the Ripper. Now I want you guys to broaden our imaginations a little bit. Batman, who was pegged as the world's greatest detective sometimes, is trying to track down Jack the Ripper during the 19th century Victorian era Gotham City timeline. Sign me up! If you haven't watched the movie yet, go check it out. I think it's interesting and refreshing, and the twist in the end was pretty much the big deal in the story. Going back to the statue now, if you're gonna ask me what made me pull the trigger on this Sideshow Premium Format statue, my answer to that is, it almost doesn't feel like a premium format statue. Again, don't get me wrong, that is not a knock on Sideshow. I just felt like the overall quality and the design of this piece is incomparable to my other Sideshow statues. From the variation of texture, the design, the paint job, and my favorite, the base. Looks pretty good, right? Now let's dissect this statue one by one, shall we? First, the base. Remember what I said a while ago? This base doesn't look like the typical Sideshow Premium Format base design. It's something else. It actually looks and feels different. Now I can't help myself to compare, but this borderline almost, again I'm gonna say almost, looks and feels like an XM Studios base. The wood texture kind of reminded me of how they did the wood surfaces from the XM Studios Samurai series line, mainly the ones in the Batwoman Samurai and even the Batgirl Samurai statue. Now that's why I said a while ago that I kind of forgot that I was unboxing a Sideshow Premium Format piece. There are a lot of attachments to it, both big wood parts and even small metal rods sticking out of the roof. Check this out. You got a very interesting sculpt on the gutters and downspouts, which I thought was very well thought of in addition to the base. You can easily see the different variations of different textures depending on the materials such as wood, metal, and even the tiles on the roof. And as if that's not enough, you can see the steam/smoke coming out of the chimney, and I think this was made out of resin, but the paint job and color blends to make it stand out but not really having a conflict on the color tones of the overall piece is just brilliant. And lastly, and I want you to be careful with this, you have what appears to be broken glass at the very front facade of the structure. I mean, they could have just left it empty and skipped the part where they have to put broken glass, but since they didn't want to make any shortcuts, they gave us a treat. The base is overloaded with texture, and I think it's the perfect complement to the story and the scene of the piece. Second, the body. Now before we go deeper into the pose and the body of the statue, I would just like to add that a lot of people from the collector community said that they're tired of this pose of Batman, as it is so similar to the previous poses of Batman Premium Format statues. Now I think they are referencing the 2018 Batman Premium Format statue released from the Batman v Superman film, and even the Batman Premium Format statue released last 2022. Oh, by the way, look at those two bases. We've come a long way from those to this. But to be honest, for me, yes, there's a clear resemblance from the previous releases, but what I think sets this apart is how the pose was incorporated into the overall story of the piece. I mean, if we didn't get this kind of base, I would completely understand the sentiments of the collector community. But in this case, I would have to disagree, as I think the pose is perfect for its base, its look, and most importantly, the scene. Starting from the foot up to the knees, you have this leather-like texture for the boots with some belts and straps, with some paint wash that kind of mimics a little bit of weathering, and also, those stitching looks really good. That sort of detail, even a small one, makes the design theme very accurate. I gotta give props too on those folds and creases, as you gotta realize this is not a hard armor material. It will have folds and creases, and that is shown everywhere on the body of this piece. You got more folds and creases on the thighs all the way to the upper body, which gives us the impression that what Batman is wearing is not hard armor and just regular yet durable clothing. We see here his utility belt, and since this is the Victorian era, we don't have the advanced looking utility belt that we are used to, but we do have a belt that carries enough daggers for Batman to use when hunting down Jack the Ripper. Very good details on the dagger holster and even the handle of the blades, as it really does give you the steampunk feel. He's holding his grappling hook rope, which can be molded as it is wired, and of course, the bat symbol, which seems to look like it's made out of leather that is sewn to his suit with very visible stitching as well. So all in all, the pose, the texture variation, the paint job, the huge amount of details on the body, I would have to say that this is a very impressive, very spot on, and not at all lazy design. Third, you have the faux leather cape. Now I know what you're gonna say and I know what you're thinking, it's faux leather again. This is eventually gonna flake if you don't take care of it. But here's the thing, I liked it that they did mixed media on this one, as there's a little bit of freedom in molding the cape the way you want to, as there are a lot of ways you can. But what I really liked about the cape is the obvious weathering on the back part of the cape, and also the edges where realistically will get a lot of wear and tear. So I guess we are just gonna be the responsible collector and make sure the faux leather material on our statues will be maintained. That's just the way it is. And last, the head sculpt. Alright, first and foremost, what do you think about the white eyes? I actually wondered what it would look like if Sideshow followed the animated film of not having the white eyes and zero eye makeup. Now at first when I saw the film, I just was not used to seeing Batman without the white eyes. Even in the other toys and figures that was made for Gotham by Gaslight, they followed the reference material of having zero eye makeup and no white eyes. Prime 1 actually did that in their version, and they gave two head sculpts, one with white eyes and one without and zero eye makeup. And both actually looks great. But honestly, I'm okay with the white eyes, it doesn't bother me, I just had that, what if moment. But enough about the eyes, let's see the actual sculpt. Guys, I am loving this face sculpt right here. It's gritty, it's dirty, he looks tough, he has that dark aura, very scary and intimidating too. And the white eyes actually made it look much more menacing, is the cowl. It kinda reminded me a little bit of that, you remember the Plague Doctor mask with that pointy beak? And looking at the cowl, you see a little bit of resemblance at the nose part, as it's longer than what we were used to seeing in a Batman cowl. You got a lot of good texture also on the mask, you see a lot of stitching, and you're gonna have that impression that it is hand-tailored, if you know what I mean. This completes the whole look of the Batman in the Victorian era Gotham City. Now it would seem like that this statue is a home run, right? Everything looks great. The base looks great. The sculpt, the paint job, the texture, the accessories, the look, the details, and the overall composition of the piece. I tried looking for something I didn't like, but to be honest, I actually failed. Although if there is one thing that I would like to add to this statue, and this is just wishful thinking, I wish that there were some elements on the base that actually lit up. I'm talking about the steam/smoke that's coming out of the chimney. Just imagine if it lit up, that would have been a banger. Now, it's still priced as a premium format, although with the obvious price increase, but the quality and the whole build is somehow on a different level. Now I know it's a new release, but so far, I can safely say that this is one of my favorite Batman designs from Sideshow. So is it a home run? I keep on saying that there's no such thing as a perfect statue, but you know what? The grade is up there. Definitely gonna earn a spot on my display shelf. Having said that, for this 1/4 scale Sideshow premium format statue Batman Gotham by Gaslight, with its design, pose, the build, and the price that I got it for, I am going to give it a grade of 8.9. Very impressive piece from Sideshow. Possibly one of the best Batman statues I own with its unique attributes and tone. It's a plus that I actually am a fan of steampunk designs, and to have that on the Batman piece, I can't say no to that. Thanks guys for watching another episode of Graded. If you like this video, please give me a solid by subscribing to the channel and turning on the notification bell, or just giving me a shout at the comment section below. If you own the Sideshow premium format statue Batman Gotham by Gaslight and would give a different grade, please let me know in the comment section below. Thanks again guys, this is Prof G and you just watched another episode of Graded. See you all on the next one.